Good morning, traders. Welcome to StockCast. My name is Todd Derby, along with my co-host James Mason. Good morning, James. How are you doing today?
Todd, good morning. I am doing as well as I possibly can. So I am finally got it. Finally got the big C.
The big C found you?
It found me. It got me.
Got the whole family, right?
Got the whole family. COVID. All of us.
Man. How's Maggie and Alana doing?
They're doing pretty rough, but as long as we as a family, we have to focus on me, and that's the most important thing.
Let's be honest. The only saying it because she's not present.
Hey, but I mean, technically, if you want to get down to it, we have to because, I mean, since Maggie decided to retire from the military, she's a stay-at-home mom, and then obviously Ilana don't have a job, so I am the breadwinner.
And I don't understand why you don't have Alana already working. I mean, let's be honest. She
should be
14 months, 15 months. She could have a YouTube channel. She could have a baby modeling career.
Dude, she's 21 months, Todd. She's almost 2 years old.
Oh, yeah. This
crazy.
Is seriously.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, in China, she'd be working.
Absolutely. Making little beanie babies or something.
No, Todd, that was in the 90s. It'd be making like little NFTs now.
Exactly.
Relevant for the day and age. Yeah. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get into it. So I was actually, I was going to say, I apologize for, probably not coming off as strong or whatever, but actually I don't apologize because I got freaking COVID. So anyways, what you get is what you get. So let's go ahead and just take a look at the market really quick. So let's see, Dow futures are currently down 392 points. S&P 500 is down 64.5 points. And we have a strong beatdown here pre-market. And let me go ahead and share my chart with you. And you can see right here, this is the daily chart of the SPY. And we have pulled down. And I am not sure why my computer is lagging. You would think that a brand new $8,000 computer, top of the line graphics cards would not be doing this, but whatever. So I mean, markets got hammered. This is everything that I was waiting for like, golly, 9 months probably. And I will say that I actually didn't even fully capitalize on this. I capitalized on it in terms of like some day trades, but overall, I didn't capitalize on it in swing trades. But whatever, it is what it is. So what I'm expecting here is we can see pre-market, this little hash line right here. I'll draw a line for y'all. This is not a support or resistance. It's just to indicate where we're at pre-market. So we have pushed slightly beyond that 200 EMA. But the thing is, this thing is just fell off a cliff, and we have broke through that 200 EMA. Today is more likely going to be the day. Now, take this with a grain of salt because it's not financial information, but more likely, based off of a technical setup, that today probably be the day that we have a strong bullish bounce and recoup some of this, followed by tomorrow, which would essentially bring us up here. Let me zoom in on this daily chart. So somewhere get this little bullish bounce starting right in here. It pulls up. I'll actually draw this for you. Okay, come on. So it comes up. I say it probably come up somewhere right in here for today. And then maybe tomorrow we come up a little bit more somewhere right in here. But basically what I'm waiting to see, and that's a stupid looking line. That drawing was so stupid. But basically what I'm wanting to see is this bounce that takes place in here, comes up and starts to get rejected around the bottom side of this 9 EMA as it comes down. So really, in the end, and I was actually drawing a line there. That was the issue. But really, in the end, what I'm kind of expecting is to see something like this, and then it, does this later on in the future. So as this 9 EMA comes down, it's gonna come down like this, gonna flatten out somewhat because these candles want to press up against it, and it might be a day, might be 2 days. Hell, I don't know. Could be a week.
Could be a month if Powell steps in and decides to give us a bone to slow us down.
Well, if Powell comes in, this is what's going to happen. It's going to do this, and it's going to go up here without showing any mercy, no stopping whatsoever. So that's what happens if Powell comes in. But if Powell don't come in, this is what I'm expecting. So I wish Powell would come in. And all this time, I've been waiting for this shit to drop. And I said this the other day, the day that I go long, or I'm trying to go long in the market, that's when they're going to let it just drop. And that's what's taking place right now. So kind of expecting this in the future. We have a bounce starting today. Market comes up here, gets rejected in the next few days around that 9 EMA, curls over, and we have to wait for that curl in the days to come to see if it's actual true rejection, because we don't want to try to think ahead of the market here and go short when we're just touching this 9 EMA and it don't stop and curl and it just keeps going up. Trust me, I've done that before. Your put contracts end up being worthless. So we need to wait for the curl in the future to actually show itself before taking puts and then riding it down that second wave. The second wave is usually the most painful in the market when it does drop. So that's just kind of what I'm expecting overall, starting today and then going forward probably for the rest of this week. And let's see. So one of the big things and the reasonings why the market is having this issue is the turmoil with Ukraine. And really, I'll be honest, if I was Russia, I'd absolutely would invade Ukraine, because thinking about it from their perspective, what the hell is the United States going to do? We just ended a 20-year war that everything we ever accomplished, we just gave back. We are not fit to take on a war with Russia or with China right now. And so if I was Russia, not that any of my opinions matter here, but if I was Russia, I would invade Ukraine. And I don't know, who knows? Maybe President Vladimir Putin is watching StockCast and he's waiting for confirmation, and he heard James Mason say invade Ukraine, and so he does it. It's possible. Todd, are you frozen?
No, I just was Ukraine, it wants to get into the NATO, and I was looking up an article about I read this weekend that's actually one of the fueling issues, that Russia doesn't want Ukraine to join the NATO, but they're getting NATO support, and that's, I was trying to find that article to offer some commentary to what we're talking about.
I looked up at your camera and you were looking to the side, and it wasn't moving.
So yeah,
on the back
I'm
end.
part ninja, so I move stealthily, and sometimes I can just.
Oh, the camera can't pick it up. That's how quick.
Yeah.
Oh, makes sense. All right, so that's what I'm expecting overall, and that's kind of what I guess the market is really trying to use as an excuse to pull itself down, to give itself a reason for coming down. Because really, let's face this, if this was at the bottom of the pandemic when this Russian stuff was going on, the market would have still bounced. News is essentially used in the moment for however they can use it, whether they want it to, go long or short. And I mean, look back at for how long you guys have been trading. You guys remember all the times where, 1 month, bad news is bad news, and bad news will take the market down. But then the next month, bad news equals good news for the market. So they'll release horrible freaking news, and everybody's like, man, this is going to crush the market. And then next thing you know, all-time highs. That's how they really use the news in the market. The news is a scapegoat, essentially. So yeah, that's just the overall market right here. But let's kind of go ahead and get off the overall market and let's talk about what's something to look for in the future.
We want to talk about Intel.
All right, let's talk about Intel. So let's see, Johnny, thank you for the tips this morning, the $10 and $5 tip. All right, everybody. So what's so big on with Intel here? Well, the chart doesn't look good either. I mean, Intel's pulling down with the market, which is to be expected. But long term, going into the future, I do believe that Intel is one of the stocks to hold long term. Now, again, it's going to be dependent on the future. And when I say the future, as in if the overall market pulls everything down, then there's nothing we can do about this. So it's just going to pull Intel down with it. But long term, look into the future of a catalyst for Intel, ticker INTC. Intel is opening up 2 plants in Ohio. And as of right now, they are going to spend $20 billion for these Ohio plants. And you can see right here where the executives are pledging 100. Actually, that's not it. That's for education. That don't even matter. Let's see. There was something else in here. It was a huge pledge. I believe it was this article. Here it is. Okay. They're going to pledge as much as $100 billion over the next decade for these semiconductor manufacturing facilities. Now, if Intel, well, it's not if, it's when, how long this is going to take them to get these plants built and up and running. But once Intel does this can be a huge catalyst for Intel. They're not going to be held back by supply chain issues. And the overall market is not going to be held back either, as they'll be able to start supplying and taking a larger market share of the semiconductor industry. Now, I do believe that just in general, the United States is making a move to become the global dominant leader for these semiconductor chips. I mean, we have Intel doing this. We have AMD, all these other companies who are building their new manufacturing facilities. I believe that the United States in the future will take over this industry and lead the way on it, which will be good for us as a nation as we start to take back control of the tech industry going forward. But it's going to take some time. And how long? Nobody knows. So I wouldn't jump in long right now, personally, because the market's going to do what the market does. But once Intel starts to get down here in this lower $30 range, that's actually where, and I'm going to put an alert in for myself. I'm just going to put an alert in around that $33.95 range. Once Intel starts to get down into this lower $30 range in the future, that's actually when I'll consider taking shares for long-term hold. If this pulls off over the next, I say like 4 years, I believe that Intel could have a run similar to like AMD, NVIDIA, things like that. Obviously, there will be other things that come into play to dictate that share price, but hypothetically speaking, that's kind of what I see long-term for Intel. So that is ticker INTC.
All right, let's go to the comments and review some of the comments. And we're about 13 minutes from the start of the market. S. John, again, thank you for all your news tips that you share in our comments. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning. FOMC meeting on Wednesday. That will play some role in the market. We'll have to watch what's going on Monday and Tuesday and see what happens with that on Wednesday.
If we have a bounce today and Tuesday, that's probably going to be when the market pulls back hard.
Yeah. Crypto took a hit over this last 3 days.
Yeah.
Hit some low levels. So I've seen that in the news.
For Christmas, I bought my one nephew $1,000 of Ethereum, and I put it on Ledger. And I looked at the price last night. Good Lord, man! It lost almost half its value since like Christmas.
Yep. Let me see here. Yeah, Brian, BTBD, I was watching this morning in the early pre-market. It was doing some crazy stuff where it runs up and then it drops back down. It's did that Friday also. I did not trade it, but I was watching it. Good morning, Randy. Johnny asking his first morning tip. What's going in the moon today? Not much. Not much.
Hold on, I'm just going through comments too. Let's see, a lot of comments today. That's awesome.
Kieran, I didn't share it. I didn't give him code over the microphone. You know,
it's weird.
It's not possible.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Every time Todd's sick and we're on the mic together, I always get sick.
Yeah. No coincidence that I was traveling over Christmas. James was traveling over last weekend, and we both get sick after traveling. I'm telling you, it's out there in airports and places where we shouldn't be, probably.
Michael Broadbent, well, what do you want to know about POAI? It's still the same old story with them. All right, so that's all I'm seeing really for comments this morning.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. We can be on time then today.
Yeah,
we can be on time.
See what kind of lemons the market gives us today, and then take it from there. And let's see, does it even have a chance if IWM pulls? And the IWM doesn't matter towards predictive. I mean, if you can look at when IWM was going up, predictive still wasn't doing crap. Predictive is only a catalyst play, and until they, let me choose my words wisely here so I don't sound critical of their performance, leadership's performance, until they unscrew themselves and like start writing us some solid PRs. And really, I think it's going to come down a lot to those new directors who they brought on from like Eli Lilly and all that, giving them the reins and actually using their expertise to make moves. So I think that's really what they need to do personally. If we look back, and I've said this a couple times before, if we look back with predictive oncology, based off all my conversations I've had with them and all their PRs, I realized off that last big major PR that they released was they were roughly 2 to 3 months behind, behind where I thought they were. So this first quarter, technically the end of the first quarter, from what I was predicting at the end of the first quarter of this year, should technically end up being where we would be at the end of the year if the timing was spot on from my perception when I was talking to them. So right now it's POAI being POAI, screwing off. So until we actually get something solid from them, it's probably going to remain pretty flat. But let's see. All right. Well, I'm not really seeing anything else. So yeah, let's go and wrap it up. Todd, do you have anything else?
No. Be careful. Be smart today. Be patient. Again, I know trade sometimes the best trade.
All right, everybody. So thank you for tuning in today. Trade safe, trade smart, and we will catch y'all in the next one.